911 calls can be terrifying for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it's the sheer panic in the caller's voice. Other times it's what happens in the background, like screams or sudden silences. But the worst ones are when you overhear your wife ordering a 6-1 pizza with no pepperonis and just an anger problem, and you realize, I don't think she was actually calling Domino's. Anyways, today we're diving into some of the most unsettling 911 calls ever recorded. Some are famous, others you might not have heard of before. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, you know, follow my Instagram for, cool pics and stuff, if you want, I guess. Join the Discord to hang out, and let's get into layer 1, starting with Ruth Price. You saw this one coming, you can just double tap 4 times to get through it if you want. This one everybody fucking knows. It's a short call, just under a minute, but in that brief time, you hear fear, hesitation, and then something absolutely terrifying. It starts with Ruth, an elderly woman, calling emergency services to report a suspicious man lurking around her apartment complex. She sounds nervous, but she's trying to stay calm as she explains that the man had asked her questions. Who lived in the unit if a certain person was there? Things that set off alarm bells in her mind. But before she can even finish giving her address, the call takes a horrific turn.
I have no idea.
There's a sudden gasp, then a struggle. Ruth lets out a scream, pure panic, before the line cuts out. And that's all we hear. For years, the call circulated online, usually as a training clip for 911 dispatchers. Some people believed it was staged, nothing more than a simulation used to teach operators how to handle emergencies. After all, there was no official record of Ruth Price's murder. No news reports, no case files. But then something surprising happened. A Reddit user decided to investigate. Fuck, wait, let me find the user. I didn't write it down, but I don't want to not give credit to the user that did this shit. Okay, it was u/far_valuable5819. So using old newspaper archives and genealogy records, this Reddit user discovered that Ruth Price was a real person. And more than that, they found evidence that she actually survived the attack. According to reports, in 1980, Ruth Price, or full name Ruth Mildred Starr Price, was living alone in San Diego, California. The night she made that call, she had indeed been attacked while reporting a prowler. The man ambushed her from behind, choking her mid-call, but she somehow managed to fight him off. The attacker ran, and Ruth lived for another 14 years, passing away in 1994. This case really proves just how important every second of a 911 call really is. If that dispatcher had just gotten Ruth's address just a tiny bit faster, help might have arrived in time for her to catch the attacker. Instead, the line went dead, and he was gone. Nicole Simpson. The murder of Nicole Brown Simpson is one of the most infamous cases in American history. But long before the trial, before the chase down the freeway and all that shit, before the world knew her story, Nicole made a desperate call for help. This 911 call, made on October 25th, 1993, was one of several Nicole had placed in the years leading up to her murder. It happened less than a year before her death, and it gives us a chilling look at what was happening behind closed doors.
Can you get someone over here now to 325 Gretna Green? He's back. Please.
Well, okay, what does he look like?
He's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here?
Okay, what is he doing there?
He just drove up again.
He just drove up
over.
Okay, wait a minute. What kind of car is he in?
The recording began with pure panic in Nicole's voice. She tells the dispatcher that her ex-husband, O.J. Simpson, is outside her house trying to break in. She's breathing heavily, struggling to get her words out as she begs the police to come immediately. In the background, you can hear OJ yelling at her, his voice aggressive and demanding. She keeps repeating the same thing. He's going to beat the shit out of me. You can hear the terror in her voice. This isn't just an argument. This is a woman who knows exactly what's coming. Nicole stays on the line, trying to keep the dispatcher updated. She tells him she doesn't want to go outside because she's scared scared of what he'll do. You can hear her voice cracking, her fear taking over. And the most heartbreaking part is that she had called before. Police had been to the house before, but nothing ever really changed. Fast forward to June 12th, 1994, 8 months later, Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman are found brutally murdered outside her home. She had seen it coming. It's really sad, honestly, this one is. Sandy Bradshaw, September 11th, 2001. United Airlines Flight 93. That morning, Sandy Bradshaw, a flight attendant and mother of two, called United Airlines maintenance facility from the hijacked plane. She was calm, controlled, and heartbreakingly focused as she described what was happening on board. She told them that the hijackers had taken over, that they had knives, and that they had already killed the pilots. She wasn't crying, she wasn't begging for help. Instead, she was getting ready for what was about to happen next. She told the airline representative that the passengers and remaining crew had a plan. They knew they weren't going to be rescued. No one was coming to save them. So instead, they decided to fight back. That was the last thing she ever said. At 10:03 a.m., Flight 93 crashed into a field in Pennsylvania, killing everyone on board. But because of Sandy, her crew, and the passengers, that plane never reached its intended target, most likely the US Capitol. This call is horrific because it's so matter-of-fact. There's no hysteria, no begging for help, no screaming. Just a woman who knew exactly what was happening, who knew she probably wouldn't make it out alive, but who was determined to fight anyway. And that was layer 1, guys. Let's get into layer 2. Jake Evans. Jake Evans was a seemingly normal teenager. He had no criminal record, no known history of violence, and no clear motive for what he did on the night of October 4th, 2012. He lived in a wealthy neighborhood with his parents and younger sister, Mallory Evans, aged 15. That day, he had been homeschooled like usual, and by all accounts, nothing seemed off. But that night, Jake sat in his room and watched Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, a film that focuses on a young boy killing his own family with a gun. For whatever reason, something about it clicked in Jake's mind. He later told police that the movie made him, quote, fascinated by the idea of killing someone. Around 12:30 a.m., he took his father's .22 caliber revolver, walked downstairs, and shot his mother in the head. His sister Mallory heard the gunshot and came out of her room. She saw Jake standing there and asked him what was going on. Instead of answering, he shot her too, but she didn't die immediately. Jake had to shoot her multiple times, even apologizing in between shots. After it was over, he called 911.
Concord County 911, where's your emergency?
My house.
Okay, what's the emergency?
I just killed my mom and my sister.
What?
I just killed my mom and my sister.
You just killed your mother and your sister? How did you do that?
I shot them with a .22 revolver.
And what is your name?
Jake Evans.
The dispatcher, understandably shocked, asked him to repeat himself. But Jake remains emotionless. His voice never shakes, never stumbles. He just casually explains what happened, as if he's talking about something that doesn't even really matter. He then tells the dispatcher,
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
At one point, he even says he feels bad about it, but there's no panic, no crying, no actual remorse in his voice. Just a flat, detached tone. He also mentions that he planned to kill more people, including his grandparents, but after shooting his mother and sister, he realized he didn't want to do it anymore. When police arrived, they found Jake waiting for them outside unarmed. He was arrested without incident. He was charged with capital murder, and since Texas does not allow minors to receive the death penalty, he instead accepted a plea deal in 2015 and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. But he will be eligible for parole in 2035. Sandra HaroldTravis the chimpanzee. On February 16th, 2009, a horrifying 911 call was made by Sandra Harold, a woman from Stamford, Connecticut. She was frantically screaming for police and medical help after her pet chimpanzee, Travis, brutally attacked her friend Charla Nash. This one's really fucking disgusting. So Travis was a 14-year-old 200-pound chimpanzee that had been raised as a pet by Sandra Harold and her late husband. The couple had owned Travis since he was an infant, treating him almost like a human child. He wore clothes, ate meals at the table, took baths, and even slept in Sandra's bed. He had appeared in commercials and had been kind of a local celebrity in Stamford. However, chimpanzees, despite their intelligence and trainability, remain wild animals with unpredictable behavior, especially as they grow older and stronger. Travis had shown aggressive tendencies in the past. In 2003, he escaped from Sandra's car and led police on a chaotic chase through Stamford. But the authorities allowed her to keep him, and for years, she continued treating him as a companion, even sharing glasses of wine with him. By 2009, Travis was fully grown, and his strength far surpassed that of a human. On the day of the attack, Charlene Nash, a close friend of Sandra, arrived at the house to help care for Travis. According to Sandra, Travis had been acting strangely that day. She had given him Xanax, hoping to calm him down, but it had the opposite effect. When Charlotte arrived, Travis suddenly became violent and attacked her without warning. Chimpanzee attacks are known to be incredibly brutal because they target the face, hands, and other vulnerable areas, if you know what I mean. Travis immediately ripped off Charlotte's hands, tore away parts of her face, and mauled her beyond recognition. Sandra, in complete shock, grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed Travis multiple times in an attempt to stop the attack, but the chimp wouldn't let go. Sandra then called 911, and the recording of the call is... Just listen to this shit.
Send the police!
What's the problem there?
The chimp killed my friend!
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
The police up! With a gun! With a gun! He ripped her face off!
He ripped her face off?
He trying to attack me! Please,
Okay,
hurry!
I need you to calm down a little bit. They're on the way.
Wait, hurry up! He's my girlfriend!
Sandra is completely hysterical, shouting that Travis is ripping Charlotte apart. She tells the dispatcher that her friend is dead and that her face is gone. She repeatedly screams that the officers must shoot Travis because he's too strong to stop. The dispatcher, clearly shocked by what he's hearing, asks Sandra for more details, and she confirms,
He's killed my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
Killed my chimpanzee! She's dead. She's dead.
Why are you saying that she's dead?
She's dead. He ripped her apart.
He ripped what apart? Her face?
Everything.
Throughout the call, you can hear the sheer panic in Sandra's voice, as well as her complete helplessness. She knows Charlotte is dying right in front of her, but there's nothing she can do to stop it. By the time the police arrived, Travis was still alive and acting aggressively. As the officers stepped out of their vehicle, the chimp charged at them, forcing them to open fire. Travis was shot multiple times and retreated back inside the house, where he collapsed and later died from his wounds. Charlotte Nash was barely alive. Her hands were completely destroyed. Her nose, lips, and eyelids had been torn off. And her injuries were so severe that even experienced paramedics were in shock. She was rushed to a hospital, placed into a medically induced coma, and later underwent a full face transplant in an attempt to repair the damage. The attack raised concerns about keeping exotic animals as pets. Chimpanzees are incredibly strong and wild by nature, making them extremely dangerous when kept in captivity. After the incident, Connecticut passed stricter laws on exotic pet ownership, so strict that it made it illegal to keep primates over 50 pounds without a special permit. Charlotte Nash survived, but her life was permanently changed. She was left completely blind, disfigured, and dependent on caregivers. Despite her condition, she later gave interviews, bravely discussing her experience and advocating for stronger laws against these wild animals. Sandra Harold, deeply traumatized by the event, never recovered emotionally. She was heavily criticized for keeping Travis despite previous warning signs, but she defended herself, saying that she loved him like a child. A year after the attack in 2010, Sandra passed away from an aneurysm, so I guess she won't be having any more killer monkeys killing people. But it is sad. R.I.P. Sandra. It wasn't her fault. That's so fucked up that shit happens, you know what I mean? County Bigfoot 911 call scene. In the 1990s, a man from Kitsap Peninsula, Washington, called 911 in a panic. He reported seeing a large, dark creature on his rural property. His description was brief but alarming. He said the figure was all in black and big and that it was staring directly at him.
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right.
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, the guy is on foot.
I don't know what, it's big. Real big person, that's all I can say.
His voice was clearly shaken, and at one point he seemed to react to something in real time, saying, "It's looking right at me, oh my god." The dispatcher's response, "uh-oh," made it clear that they recognized the fear in his voice. The man never identified himself publicly. When Bigfoot researchers and documentarians started showing interest in the case, he reportedly lawyered up and refused to speak to anyone. Some sources say that he sold his property shortly after the call to avoid any further involvement in the Bigfoot community. And guys, that was Layer 2, so let's hop straight into Layer 3. And starting in Layer 3, we're gonna start with Alex Crane. The case of Alex Crane is one of the most disturbing examples of a teenager committing a completely unexplainable crime. In 2010, Alex, a 14-year-old boy from Naples, Florida, called 911 in a panic. He told the dispatcher that he had just shot and killed both of his parents, Kelly and Thomas Crane. Unlike a lot of cases involving teenagers killing their parents, there was no clear motive. There was no history of abuse, no record of serious behavioral issues, nothing that would suggest something like this was coming. Alex was described as a regular kid and his family was well off and lived in an affluent neighborhood. Yet, on the morning of December 9th, 2010, Alex took his father's shotgun and shot both of his parents while they were sleeping. The 911 call is disturbing because of how confused and upset Alex looks. Sounds. My fault, I don't know why I put that in the script. He's not aggressive, not cold. He sounds genuinely lost, like he doesn't even know how to process what he's just done. He tells the dispatcher,
My parents were shot.
Your what?
My parents were shot.
Your parents were shot?
Yeah.
Stay on the line, okay? Alex, how old are you?
I'm 14.
14, where are they now?
In the bathroom.
Okay, who shot your parents?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, stay on the line with me, okay? I'm
Okay.
gonna get you some help. Was it an incident, Alex? How did this happen, sweetie?
I don't know.
You don't know?
First thing I was sleeping, the next thing I know, I had a gun in my hand, my pants on the ground.
Okay.
when the police arrived, they found Alex waiting for them outside. He was arrested without incident. There was no struggle, no attempt to run. He just stood there and let himself be taken away. The legal case was complicated because of his age. Since he was 14, he couldn't get the death penalty, but prosecutors still pushed him to be charged as an adult. In 2012, this is 2 years later, Alex accepted a plea deal, avoiding a trial and receiving a 20-year prison sentence followed by 10 years of probation. If he serves his full sentence, he'll be 34 years old when he's released. Or fuck, no, because it was 2 years after, so he'll be like 36. Anyway, to this day, no one really knows why Alex Crane killed his parents. He never gave a real explanation, and there is no evidence of any kind of mental illness or abuse. Some people think that it was an impulsive act that he instantly regretted, or some other people think that it was something deeper, but it's still disturbing as fuck. The Miami Zombie 911 call. In Miami, Florida, a gruesome incident occurred that earned the moniker Miami Zombie 911 call. During this event, a man named Ronald Popo became the victim of a vicious attack by an assailant identified as Rudy Eugene. According to reports during the 911 call, Popo described in plain and terrifying terms how Eugene attacked him, biting and mutilating his face. The call captured the raw panic and distress of a man who is trying to explain the shock of being attacked by someone whose actions resembled that of a creature out of a horror movie. The description of the assailant's behavior and appearance marked by what many described as zombie-like features, is fucking terrifying. During the call, Papo recounted how almost immediately after the attack began, he realized that his face was being severely injured. His voice conveyed both disbelief and terror as he struggled to detail the aggressive and unrelenting assault. At one point, the caller's description of his attacker's actions was so disturbing that it became the most memorable part of the recording. After the incident, law enforcement investigated the case thoroughly, and Rudy Eugene was eventually apprehended and charged. The brutality of the attack and the unmistakable terror in Papo's voice during the call made this very widely known among those interested in true crime and stuff. And with that, we're done with Layer 3. That was a quick layer. Let's get into Layer 4, starting with Lisa's 911 call. Lisa Floyd's 911 call is one of the most disturbing recordings that sticks with you. On September 21st, 1991, a 6-year-old girl named Lisa called 911 around 10:13 p.m. because her parents were having a violent fight. The call itself is genuinely heartbreaking because she sounds so terrified and desperate. Honestly, hearing a child beg a dispatcher for help hits different. It's way more unsettling than your typical crime call. The operator keeps asking Lisa questions, trying to calm her down, but Lisa just keeps repeating that her stepfather is hurting her mom. At one point, Lisa cries out something along the lines of, "He's hurting mommy," which is easily the hardest part to listen to. This is basically the audio equivalent of seeing one of those really messed up swings landing family arguments in public that make you feel uncomfortable just witnessing, but way worse. Domestic abuse calls are already bad, but when it's a 6-year-old girl on the line, it makes it infinitely worse. We can all agree that listening to kids being scared for their lives because their parents are fighting is about as bad as it gets.
Standing emergency. Standing emergency.
My mom and Daddy are having a fight.
Is he getting hurt?
Stop it! Send the police, please.
Okay, we're going to be there. We're taking Let me talk to you. Where's your mom? What's going on?
They're having a fight because this is bingo forever and ever. They always have this because he has a cousin. He's always drinking beer and getting drunk.
Brandon Lawson. Brandon Lawson's 911 call from 2013 is one of the creepiest and most confusing emergency calls ever recorded. Brandon was driving late at night near Bronte, Texas, when his truck ran out of gas, and at some point he made a frantic, incoherent 911 call. Honestly, the audio quality sucks, and Brandon's speech is so rushed and unclear that it's hard to tell exactly what he's saying. Some people swear they hear him saying something about guys chasing me, while others insist that he's talking about running into state troopers. Or maybe something totally different. Either way, it's disturbing because he sounds legitimately terrified, like he's genuinely afraid for his life. It's very much the audio equivalent of those creepy found footage films, think Blair Witch vibes, where you can't quite make out what's going on, but you just know something messed up happened. Brandon vanished immediately after making the call, and literally nobody knows what happened to him, making this one of those genuinely baffling, real-life mysteries. Some people think he ran into trouble with drug dealers, while others speculate that he was having maybe a paranoid episode or encountered foul play, but it's still completely unresolved. It reminds me of those people who like how people obsess and obsessively debate the Elisa Lam elevator video, tons of theories but pretty much no answers.
911 emergency.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushed some guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You got to take the pictures to the woods. Please learn.
Okay, now run that
The
by.
one I talked to home. I surely ran into him.
Ah, you ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
You need an ambulance?
Yes, no, I need the call.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Anonet Kayito's 911 call. Anonet Kayito's 911 call is easily one of the creepiest, most unsettling pieces of audio you can find. On April 6th, 1986, Anonet, who was just 9 years old at the time, disappeared from her home in Gallup, New Mexico. A year after her disappearance, in 1987, a call came into the Gallup Police Department from a terrified young girl who identified herself as Anonet. The caller whispers, sounding scared,
I'm Anonet Kayito.
"I'm Anonet Kayito," before you hear a male voice in the background say something aggressive, and then suddenly the line goes dead.
Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque? Hello? Antoinette, where are you?
The audio genuinely gives off Megan is Missing vibes, like found footage level creepy, especially when you hear the real fear in the girl's voice. There's something so truly, like, I kind of almost even regret referencing Megan is Missing because that shit's fake and this is like actually disturbing and like awful and real. But there's just something so unsettling about the silence after the man interrupts, leaving you feeling like you just heard something that you definitely weren't supposed to. We can all agree that child abduction cases are among the most disturbing, but the fact that this girl vanished without a trace, leaving behind just a chilling call, is extra haunting. To this day, nobody really knows what happened to Anonet. Some believe she was trafficked, others think that it was a kidnapping that went horribly wrong, but it remains unsolved and horrible, like heartbreaking. Dustin Duthy's 911 call. Dustin Duthy's 911 call is straight up disturbing because of how casual and emotionless he sounds describing his horrific crime he committed. In 2018, in Calgary, Canada, Dustin called 911, calmly reporting that he had just killed his girlfriend, Taylor Toller, his mother, Shawn Great, and his stepfather, Alan Peneligen. The chilling part here is that he just has no emotion or remorse. He literally explains it as if he's ordering a pizza or something equally mundane. It's genuinely creepy listening to someone talk about committing triple homicides with the same emotional energy as giving directions to their house. It reminds me of Jake Evans' call in a way. Both teenagers or young adults casually confessing after committing terrible acts without having a real clear motive or showing any humanity at all. Honestly, it's just extremely disturbing, mainly because we expect murderers to at least pretend they're remorseful or freaked out, but this guy doesn't even bother.
I moved with my girlfriend in this apartment last week, and I moved with my parents this morning, and that is where I'm going to end it.
And what was the last part?
And I moved with my parents this morning in their own home.
And that's the end of Layer 4, guys. We're going through these so quick. Damn, dude, maybe I should be writing more, but there's not much shit to say about a lot of these. Anyways, Layer 5, we're getting started with Kimberly Corbin. This call is honestly one of the bravest yet most terrifying things you'll ever hear. Kimberly Corbin, a survivor of sexual assault, called 911 while her attacker was literally still in her apartment. I mean, talk about guts, Shadi.
Hey, are you calling me from...
Oh my God.
Try to say the address, okay? What's going on? Okay. Okay, what's going on? You were what? Okay, did the person that did this to you, are they still there? Okay. He just left?
Yes. He's about... I think he's like 5'8", 5'9".
Is he black, white, or Hispanic?
He's white. He's about 160 pounds. He's wearing glasses, white tennis shoes on, and a black shirt. Please.
Her voice is trembling and she whispers details to the dispatcher, hoping the creep won't hear her. The dispatcher stays calm and helps keep Kimberly as quiet as possible while police rush to the scene. The attacker was eventually captured and convicted, and Kimberly went on to become a powerful advocate for assault survivors, speaking publicly about her experience and raising awareness about sexual violence. It's super chilling and also insanely inspiring how Kimberly kept it together enough to make the call at all. Seriously, that is strength right there, everyone. Nikki's 911 call. Now this call, honestly, it broke me a little. Nikki, a young girl, finds her brother dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound and calls 911 completely hysterical, screaming like, "Help me, my brother's dead."
One. Help me, my brother's dead. What's your name?
Nikki.
What do you mean by your brother's dead?
He killed himself.
How did he do it?
With the gun.
Okay, are you home alone?
Well, I'm home alone with my sister.
Okay.
Get someone here quick.
Did you just find him, Nikki?
Yeah, no, he's dead.
Nikki, stay on the phone with me, hon, okay?
Why'd you do it?
It's honestly heartbreaking. The dispatcher tries to calm her down, asking basic questions like, "Is anyone else home? How did he do it?" But Nikki can barely breathe between her sobs. At one point, she screams out to her brother saying, "Why'd you do it?" And let me tell you, that scream is haunting. Her dad eventually picks up, sounding exhausted and in disbelief. This call eventually became infamous online, and weirdly enough, people started using it as a reality check against their own suicidal thoughts. The wildest part, though, is that no one even knows for sure if it's real. It appeared in an HBO documentary from 2001, but internet sleuths have never been able to confirm its authenticity. Honestly, regardless, it hits hard. Real or not, it's become kind of a dark therapy for people struggling with similar thoughts. Like, truly a what the fuck moment in the darkest way possible. But I don't know, I hope it's not real. Sinclair's 911 call. Okay guys, I have spent a lot of time researching this one and I cannot find anything other than this Washington Post article right here. And you have to pay for this. And I'm not gonna pay for this for one entry. But what it looks like is a man who called 911 after 3 hours after he fatally shot his wife. And apparently is supposed to go like this. He says a murder has been committed, and the dispatcher says a murder's been committed by who? And he says, "By me, ma'am." And that's all I can see on this article. I'm so sorry, guys. Roseboro. All right, this call is straight up tragic and unsettling. Michael Roseboro calls 911 claiming his wife Jan just drowned in their backyard pool. He sounds pretty calm at first, almost too calm, which honestly raises a ton of red flags. The dispatcher guides him through performing CPR, but he barely sounds urgent. Just monotone, repeating, "She's not breathing." The more you listen, the more unsettling it gets because something just feels off. Later investigations revealed that it wasn't an accident at all, actually. Michael had actually murdered his wife. Listening to the call after knowing this is just heartbreaking, thinking about Jan's last moments and how cold Michael sounded while lying through his teeth.
I'm sorry?
I believe my wife just drowned.
Okay. And what happened?
I had gone to bed about an hour and a half ago, and she was outside, and I came out, and I saw the lights were still on the pool, the torches were still on. And I came out, and I found her in the deep end of the pool.
Okay. Is she breathing?
No, she's not.
Is she still in the water?
No, I pulled her out.
Truly devastating, Shoddy. Dr. Timothy Roses. This one is deeply tragic and terrifying. So Dr. Timothy Roses, a radiologist from Rockwall, Texas, followed his ex-girlfriend Lindsay Nichols to the home of her new boyfriend in Jesup, Iowa. Lindsay, just 22 and studying radiography, had recently updated her Facebook status to show that she was in a new relationship, which upset Roses. After an argument in the driveway, Lindsay's new boyfriend called 911 from inside the house.
911.
Hi, my girlfriend just pulled up, and there's a guy that pulled up in truck behind her. We think he has a gun.
What's the address?
914 Stevens Street, Jesup, Iowa. I mean, they're arguing by a truck. We've seen a gun.
Okay, hold on just a second. If it leaves before the officer gets there, let me know. So is Lindsay still outside?
Oh my God! I'm sorry. What should I do? Should I yell at him?
What happened?
Should I yell at him? He just shot her. He just shot her. Oh my God. He's down. I think he shot himself. I think he shot himself.
Also?
Yes, she is on the ground.
Where's he? I'm right here.
While he was on the phone, Roses pulled out a gun, shot Lindsay, then turned the gun on himself. The boyfriend heard everything, powerless and horrified. Investigators later discovered that Roses had rented a vehicle, possibly to track Lindsay without detection. This brutal act of violence stunned the entire small community. Lindsay was known as vibrant and beloved, a former cheerleader with a promising future. Roses, meanwhile, left behind a shocked family in Texas, grappling with the devastating consequences of his actions. The emotional devastation here is just overwhelming, shoddy, leaving two families forever scarred. Don Spirit. This call is, well, you'll see. So Don Spirit casually calls 911 to admit he just shot his daughter, Sarah, and get this, all 6 of his grandchildren.
I just shot my daughter and all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and then when you get here, I'm going to shoot myself.
Like, literally chilling. He straight up tells the dispatcher, like, yes ma'am, I just shot my daughter and all my grandkids. And then he's waiting on his doorstep for the cops to arrive, planning to end his own life once they're there. The dispatcher tries to get more details, but Spirit just cuts her off, clearly fed up with life and everything else, shouting, I don't want to hear it, ma'am, just bring the motherfuckers out here. When police arrived, they found an unimaginable scene. Sarah, 28, and her 6 children ranging from 3 months to 11 years old, all shot and killed. Spirit then took his own life as the authorities arrived. This entire tragedy is compounded by Spirit's deeply troubled past, including previous convictions, mental health struggles, and even accidentally killing another child years earlier. Sarah had previously expressed fear of her father, highlighting a dark history of domestic violence and abuse. Honestly, this is one of the stories that just leaves you absolutely stunned and speechless. We need to listen to the warning signs a lot more, I think. Like, if that girl was already scared of her fucking dad, like, come on. Kevin Cosgrove. Kevin Cosgrove was trapped in the South Tower of the World Trade Center during 9/11 and called 911 in total panic. He's desperate, shouting, "We're young men, we're not ready to die." He frantically describes the smoke, unbearable heat, and how they're trapped inside an office with no way out. The dispatcher tries her best to reassure him that help is coming, but Kevin's frustration and fear become painfully obvious as he pleads for firefighters to hurry.
I'm staying up at the smoke room there, man. I barely need it. All we can do. What's you guys up to? We're getting there. Doesn't feel like it, man. I got one kid. I understand that, sir. We're on the way.
The call heartbreakingly cuts off with Kevin's chilling final scream as the tower collapses.
Two windows. Oh, God!
Like, hearing it literally stops your heart, guys. It captures one of history's darkest moments, genuinely heartbreaking. I think we all think about 9/11, you know, as like this big thing, but it's interesting to think about one individual person's perspective, you know. Siobhan Thomas 911 call. This one is seriously disturbing. Siobhan Thomas called 911 and calmly admitted that she just decapitated her 2-year-old son, Zari.
Somebody just stabbed my baby. Please get here.
They just did what?
Stabbed my baby.
Do they know who it was, ma'am?
Yes, it's my boyfriend, my current boyfriend.
What's your address?
1415 Kane. You know what?
Does he need an ambulance, ma'am?
You know what? I did it. I'm lying. I did it.
Does he need an ambulance, ma'am?
No. I mean, no. He don't need, no.
What's your name?
Siobhan Thomas.
Like, what the fuck? Throughout the call, she keeps shifting between calm explanations and sudden emotional breakdowns, clearly in a severe crisis. Siobhan even confesses directly to the dispatcher, saying, "You know what? I did it. I'm guilty." She repeatedly tells them that she's been struggling mentally and emotionally, and at one point she even starts humming eerily on the call, which is genuinely chilling. Authorities arrive to find an unimaginably tragic scene. Zari had passed and Siobhan had taken her own life. Turns out Siobhan had a heartbreaking history, battling severe mental health issues and drug addiction, and had previously lost custody of Zari temporarily. But no excuses, that is not It's not an excuse, it's still heartbreaking. William Miller. William Miller calmly called 911 and confessed that he shot his grandson. Like, seriously, he tells the dispatcher, literally in the most emotionless tone, "I'd shot my grandson, he's deceased." Like if Captain Holt was saying it. The dispatcher, clearly stunned and horrified, asks why he did it, and Miller just coldly responds, "I got tired of him."
911.
I just shot a little son of a bitch in my house.
You did what?
I just shot somebody.
You shot someone?
Yes, I did.
Where are you at?
15648 Road 1037.
Okay, why did you shoot someone?
I told him to get the hell out of my house and he didn't leave.
What the actual fuck, guys? He even chillingly tells the dispatcher he's calmly waiting for police to arrive. Police later uncovered severe family tension, struggles with mental health, and financial pressures leading up to the horrific act. It's devastating thinking about the trauma this family faced. John Formosano 911 call. This call is gut-wrenching. John Formosano, a police officer, chased down his estranged wife, Christine, shooting her multiple times and critically injuring her boyfriend. Neighbors frantically called 911, describing in real time how Christine was desperately banging on doors, begging for help, screaming for her life.
Lanza shot his wife in front of my house.
He's just what?
You gotta hurry up because he is dying in front of my house, please. He's a newer cop. He lives on the corner. He shot her. I saw him. I saw him through my window.
Like, it's heartbreaking and terrifying hearing the witnesses describe the horror happening right outside their homes. Formosano fled immediately after the attack, sparking a manhunt, but was soon apprehended. The calls vividly capture the absolute panic and helplessness of neighbors who could only watch in terror as the tragedy unfolded. Honestly, it's devastating how quickly and brutally domestic violence can escalate. Jiren DP. Okay, so this one doesn't have a lot of detail available online, except for one article that I found that costs $15 to look at. But what we do know is heartbreaking enough. Jiren Pridgen called 911 himself after allegedly shooting 7 people, including his brother and 5 kids. 3 of them his own. Like, seriously, that's devastating. The call came in around 1:30 a.m. and at one point Jiren even handed the phone to Brittany Anderson, the children's mother, who was literally fighting for her life after being shot. Anderson pleaded desperately for help, but heartbreakingly couldn't identify who did it. Pridgen took the phone back once she became unresponsive and chillingly confirmed he was still there. Honestly, the confusion and pain captured in this call make it really haunting. Pridgen was arrested later that same day, so that's good at least. And that's the end of layer, what is that, 6? Yeah, end of layer 6. Let's get into layer 7, guys. Shawn Great. Okay, so it's the early hours of September 13th, 2016 in Ashland, Ohio. A woman known only as Jane Doe manages to partially free herself from her restraints while her captor, Shawn Great, sleeps beside her. Using Great's own phone, she makes a desperate 911 call, whispering for help to avoid waking him. Like, that's what she whispered, so she wouldn't, like, wake him up. Throughout the 20-minute call, her fear is palpable.
911, what is the address to your emergency?
By the Fourth Street Laundromat.
What is it?
Fourth Street Laundromat.
What's the problem?
I've been abducted.
Who abducted you?
Shawn Green.
You said John Green?
Shawn Great.
Where's he at now?
Asleep.
Where's he sleeping at?
In the bedroom.
In what bedroom?
There's 2 houses right by the Laundry Street. And it's in one of those houses.
But you're at the laundromat?
No, I'm in the bedroom with them.
She informs the dispatcher that Great is asleep in the same room and that she's unsure of the exact address, but describes the location as being near a laundromat. The dispatcher keeps her calm, guiding officers to her location. When police arrive, they find Great still asleep and arrest him without incident. Their search of the house uncovers the bodies of 2 women, later identified as Elizabeth Griffith and Stacy Stanley. Great would eventually confess to multiple murders, marking him as a serial killer. Alysia Inglert. So this is in Kearns, Utah on 26th of the August 2014. Neighbors hear what they think is a distressed cat coming from a trash can. Investigating further, they discover a newborn baby girl, alive but abandoned. In the frantic 911 call, the neighbor describes finding the baby amidst the garbage, still with the umbilical cord attached. She expresses shock and disbelief, repeatedly asking, why would they do this?
There's a baby in our garbage can. And I thought it was a cat. I was outside just a minute ago, and I got my mother-in-law to come out, and we lifted the trash bags off, and there's a baby in the garbage can. Still the cord on there, so he's got to be newborn. He's still got an umbilical on his belly button. Why would they do that?
And if he gets worse in any way, I want you to let me know immediately for further instructions, okay?
Okay.
The dispatcher guides her on how to take care of the infant until emergency services arrive. The mother, 23-year-old Alysia Inglert, was later arrested and charged with attempted murder. Authorities allege that she abandoned the baby to conceal her pregnancy from her parents. The infant survived and was placed under state care. Inglert's case took a turn when a judge ruled that her intellectual disability was too severe to restore her competency to stand trial. This decision means that she may never face trial for her actions. Adam Lanza. Now, I don't know why they called this entry Adam Lanza because he never actually called anybody, but I'm assuming it's about what I'm about to say. So, on December 14th, 2012, Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut became the site of an unimaginable tragedy, as I'm sure all of you know. Adam Lanza, a 20-year-old local resident, entered the school and took the lives of 20 children and 6 educators. The 911 calls from that day provide a harrowing glimpse into the chaos and fear experienced by those inside that school. In one of the calls, a woman, her voice trembling, tells the dispatcher, "I think there's somebody shooting in here." She describes seeing someone with a gun running down the hallway. The dispatcher, maintaining composure, gathers information and assures her that help is on the way. Another call features Rick Thorne, the school's custodian, who reports hearing gunshots and seeing broken glass. He stays on the line, providing real-time updates, even as gunfire echoes in the background. Christy Sheets. On June 24, 2016, in Fulshire, Texas, a domestic dispute escalated into a heartbreaking incident. Christy Sheets, 42, shot and killed her 2 daughters, Taylor and Madison, who were 22 and 17, respectively, in front of their home. The released 911 calls from that day capture the terror and desperation of the moments leading up to their deaths.
Hello?
In one call, Jason Sheets, the girl's father, pleads with his wife, saying, "Please don't point that gun at us. I beg you, please put it away." The anguish in his voice is palpable as he tries to de-escalate the situation. Neighbors also called 911, reporting gunshots and describing Christy with a firearm outside the house. One neighbor told the dispatcher, "I don't know what happened because I had to take my son to safety." That's fucked up, dude. And that's the end of Layer 7. Let's get into Layer 8. Lewis Danes. On February 17th, 2014, in Grays, Essex, UK, 19-year-old Lewis Danes made a harrowing 999 call after murdering 14-year-old Breck Bednar. Danes had lured Breck to his flat under the guise of discussing a fictional computer business. During the call, Danes calmly claimed self-defense, stating, "My friend and I got into an altercation and I'm the only one who came out alive." He described the incident in graphic detail, mentioning he had stabbed Breck in the neck near the brainstem and subsequently cut his throat. Danes requested both police and a forensic team to be dispatched to his location. This call led to his arrest and subsequent conviction for murder, resulting in a life sentence with a minimum of 25 years.
Okay, hello. I need police and a forensics team to my address, please.
What do you mean? What's happened?
My friend and I got into an altercation, and I'm the only one who came out alive.
Are you telling me you've killed somebody?
Yes, I am.
Right, and who am I speaking to?
My name is Lewis Danes. I'm 18 years old, and I live...
Patty Nielsen. On April 20th, 1999, during the Columbine High School shooting in Littleton, Colorado, art teacher Patty Nielsen made a desperate 911 call from the school's library. After witnessing gunmen opening fire, she altered the dispatcher to the active shooter situation, stating there was a student with a gun who had shot out a window.
I just want you to stay in the line with me. We need to know what's going on. Okay.
Throughout the call, Nielsen attempted to keep students safe, instructing them to stay down as gunshots and explosions were heard in the background. Her call provided real-time information to law enforcement. Well, that's kind of good, I guess, but it's still fucked. John Gallagos. On August 10th, 2021, in Houston, Texas, a housekeeper at a Motel 6 discovered the lifeless body of Wilfredo Javier Rodriguez Almendarez, 34, in one of the rooms. He had suffered multiple gunshot wounds. The Houston Police Department's investigation led to the identification of 4 suspects: John Gallagos, 27, Erica Pereira, 30, and Elizabeth Luna, 30, and Israel Ventura, 32. Gallagos, Pereira, and Luna were apprehended on August 17th without incident, while Ventura was arrested later while attempting to evade officers on a bicycle. All 4 were charged with capital murder. Eric Hmel. On June 10th, 2017, in Obart, Indiana, Eric Hmel, a 33-year-old father, intended to teach his sons about the dangers of firearms. During this impromptu lesson, he handled a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, emphasizing to the boys the lethal potential of the guns. Tragically, believing the firearm was unloaded, Hmel pointed it at his 9-year-old daughter, Olivia, who had just entered the room, and he pulled the trigger. The gun discharged, striking Olivia in the head. In a panic, Hmel called 911, repeatedly expressing disbelief and anguish, saying, "This can't be real."
What's going on there? I had my and I pulled the trigger. I didn't realize there was a bullet in there, and I just my daughter.
Okay, do you want to try to do CPR?
I know CPR.
Do you want to try it?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Despite his immediate attempts to perform CPR, Olivia was pronounced dead shortly after arriving at the hospital. Hmel was subsequently charged with multiple offenses, including reckless homicide and neglect of a dependent, resulting in death. And that's the end of the Iceberg, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. This one's very dark and real and sad, but I hope you enjoyed the ride. Have a great day, everybody. Sweet dreams.